Morning, Pride League. This is your champion, Disabled Vigilantes, your fearless leader, your hero that charges in into the darkest of nights. I'm here to guide you through week 2. So, with that being said, there's some interesting things that have occurred. One mainly is that I'm not at the top of my division. Thank you, Ashi. I appreciate that. You've now allowed the guy that got 12th place to run the Beast of the East. And I'm talking about you, Flawless Victory. T-Bone Ricard knocking it out 2-0. Team looking good. The trade of OBJ for the betterment of your squad. No one can doubt your fantasy football prowess. But, I don't know. It could bite you later. It may not. Good trade. Your team is now solid. And good on you, kid. You are not only the most improved of this week, you are the most improved ever, I think, after having such a dismal season last year, rife with injuries. You have now come back and you've proven yourself more than capable to run with the big dogs. Everybody take note of Flawless Victory. Fantasy dud. I didn't think anybody would score less points than me. Well, lo and behold, there are those that do. Obviously, you get the fantasy dud for scoring the lowest amount of points ever of the current year. I mean, last year we had people go down into the double digits, so obviously you're not the worst ever. But as of right now, you're the worst for this year. Biding time. Bull City, your team looks good. Le'Veon Bell is fucking you. And there's nothing wrong with that. Being fucked by a beautiful man like Le'Veon Bell probably does wonders for your psyche. I mean, imagine he comes back in week 10, week 11. That's as far as the holdout will go, I'd imagine. Him fucking you now, if you can just hold on to the playoffs, will reap great rewards. It's like a sugar daddy. You know, you have to get your knees dirty right now, but then you get to go shopping at the Mall of America during the playoffs. So, hang in there, kid. Hold tight. You're 1-1, so it's no huge thing, but you are the dud of the week. Let's just go look at the predictions. You know, it's early. I do feel a little bit better since I won. But, you know, still, it's Thursday morning, shit to do or shit not to do. You know, this is my prerogative. But let's start with Disabled Vigilantes versus Class C Strippers. This is the rematch of the championship game. Basically had 2 weeks to get pummeled by me. Wasn't enough. He wanted to continue that trend this week. He had some really good players with Tyreek Hill, Amari Cooper, and Brandon Cooks all getting in the 20s. It's the other players that is what's going to hold him back. He's not, you've got to have a consistency of 10 plus, and he's got negative points, 0 points. Classic Strippers just made a trade. Whether or not that trade is good for him or bad for him, don't know. But he's making moves, trying to correct this deficiency and get in the playoffs, as every team should do. You got to make the right trades for you, though. You got to get the right players that you want. So, I don't know, Classic Strippers 0-2, and in the West, it's tied for third, so he's not the only one 0-2 in there. So the division might be the new dumpster division. Well, let's hope it's not. I mean, I don't want to jump to conclusions, but we shall see. But I got that one right. I figured I'd be Classic Strippers, and I did. Well, Chalupas, and we've got a name change. Good, because Tick's name was kind of shitty last week, but he's feeling like Thanos now. I can see it. He's 2-0, feeling like Thanos. Don't blame you. He just mollywopped Chicago Chalupas, but Chicago Chalupas put it up a healthy 160. Normally that should get you the dub week in, week out, but feeling like Thanos was like, give me that $25, please. I'll be in the running for that, thank you. You can't touch me. Sit down, Chalupas, while I go grab some Infinity Stones. I had Chalupas winning this one. Boy, was I wrong. So right now I'm 1-1. Next we have Gimme Money versus Flawless Victory. Well, unfortunately, Gimme Money, there wasn't a hell of a showing from Alex Smith, and you needed him to put up 20-25 just to even be in the contention of this contest. Flawless Victory, however, with a standout performance from Melvin Gordon, one of the guys he traded for in the OBJ trade. T.Y. Hilton looking good with Andrew Luck. And then A-Rod. This squad definitely 2 years ago would be dynamic. Deshaun Jackson looking rejuvenated. This is, obviously he beat Ashi with a kicker who scored 0 points. This loss is more on Ashi than it shows of Flawless Victory's ability to win. I lost that one. I'm 1-2 with my picks. You guys are making this so hard for me. Bull City versus Post Mahomes squad. Now, obviously the name is clever, as Post Malone and Patrick Mahomes, and it's a blend that is adequate. I wouldn't call it a great name. It's adequate. So, Post Mahomes, led by Patrick Mahomes with 51.8 points, 6 touchdowns. Cam Newton tried to keep pace with the young buck, but really just couldn't. And, why? If the rest of your team is going to get, single digits. If Golden Tate's the only one preparing for the week, then, so many negatives for Bull City. When you go up against the dud, you feel better. But when you make $25 on top of facing the dud of the week, it kind of gives you that air of, I don't know, I'm holding all 5 Infinity Stones in one hand, and with the snap of a finger, I just destroy Bull City's face. That's what it felt like, I'm sure. Well, congratulations to Post Mahomes squad for being the highest scorer of the week. Would have given you the fantasy stud, but let's be honest, 2-0 from Flawless Victory? You gotta put those on the scales. I'm giving it to Flawless Victory. Now, we've got them Jack Boys versus Lazy Pugs. Now, them Jack Boys was like, I need to come in here. I need to make myself relevant. I auto-drafted. Hopefully, I can at least start the right players. The man picked up Big Ben for $30 and said, fuck all that noise. I don't care if y'all think I'm crazy. Big Ben is going to be the best statistical quarterback, at least top 5. That's what he's thinking. He's like, it's worth $30. I'm under the impression that you probably could have picked up Big Ben off the waiver wire for free and then really exposed the league for their ignorance. But wasting $30 for Big Ben, I still think it's too much. But if the motherfucker dropping you 50 points, fuck what I say, right? So, scored a measly 170. I think that'll get you pretty much done each and every week. So, good on you. On top of Big Ben, Christian McCaffrey doing the damn dizzle. And going up against a hapless Lazy Pugs team. Running back starvation is prevalent throughout the league. It's a shortage of adequate backs. I wish I hadn't given up Todd Gurley, but we're going to make it do what it do. You know what I'm saying? But I think Lazy Pugs is definitely suffering from running backitis. He needs running back transplant as fast as possible. So next, I don't even know who I picked for that one. Did I pick Lazy Pugs? Let me get I picked them Jack Boys. So at least I'm 2-2. Let's see. What did I pick for the Bull City Post Mahomes squad? I picked Post Mahomes squad, so I'm 3-2. All right. Next and last but not least, we have Wrestling Boners and Unfuckwittable. Wrestling Boners, I got a guy you can call. He deals in these purple little pills that you could, maybe bolster that boner up and maybe you could stick it to somebody. You lost to Unfuckwittable. And all the shit you've talked to this dude, you come up here and just lay an egg? That's what we do now? We score a paltry 124 and look at Aaron Hill making moves, seeing the potential of his squad and looking to bolster it. Even if you send me shitty trades, I respect you, kid. I respect you deeply. So I had picked Wrestling Boners to win that simply because I thought he would stick it to the man. No, he did not. But, it is what it is. I was half and half. I got half right, half wrong. Let's see if I can do better this week. Now, let's take a moment to sit back. We got two new guys, 2-0. Actually, you're 1-1. That's not bad. You beat me, so I mean that's not bad. We also have the guy that got worse, 2-0. Look at how things can just flip in an instant. So never give up. Keep fighting. Everybody's in this right now. With that being said, I'm going to have to give Chicago Chalupas this L this week. I don't give a fuck. He's got running back-itis as well. If he thinks James Conner is going to perform like Le'Veon Bell each week, get the fuck out of here with that noise. He does have AB, and he has OBJ. Stephon Diggs doing wonderful things with Cousins. I appreciate all of this, but for as much confidence as this man had at the beginning of the season, the team looks rather, whatever. So I'm going to go ahead, put my boot up Chicago Chalupa's ass, and go ahead and say I'm going to declare this victory. Sent. Now, moving on. Unfuckwittable versus Flawless Victory. Now it becomes a chase who can knock off these undefeated teams. And I think my boy Unfuckwittable has a strong chance to come in here and steal one from Flawless Victory. I'm going to actually pick... I'm going to pick Flawless Victory. I really am not a fan of the trade that's in the works between Classy Strippers and Flawless Victory. I think it's going to end up hurting him in the long run. I think he gave up a little too much. The deal was sweet, it's front loaded. But later, I think it'll benefit Classy Strippers more. I just still don't think it's going to be enough for him to knock off Flawless Victory. Flawless Victory goes 3-0. What has the world come to? Next, we've got Post Mahomes Squad versus Wrestling Boners. There is a distinct rivalry between these individuals as it occurs in fantasy. But I think they might have put back on the kid gloves. They're not as chirpity chirp chirp chirp, especially for a matchup that normally be like, eat a dick, Fluffy, or is like, oh, why don't you go suck your brother's penis, blah blah blah. And we haven't heard any of that. Are the kid gloves back on? Are we being civil? Regardless, I'm going to say that Patrick Mahomes' luck runs out. Wrestling Boners ends his losing streak and puts a 1 in the W column. Post Mahomes Squad, I think it relies heavily on explosive plays, which is the structure of our fantasy league. Post Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes, is going to... He's the epitome of that. It's big player bust for this guy. And I just think we're going to see a bust here soon. Now, Lazy Pugs versus Classy Strippers. Now, Classy Strippers might be in panic mode. He's waiting for his trades to clear, maybe see how the dust settles. Let me go ahead and give Lazy Pugs this victory. I think this is a scramble drill after watching his team flounder against the champ. So, Lazy Pugs gets that dub. Them Jack Boys versus Bull City. Let's get it. Bull City 1-1. Them Jack Boys 2-0. Bull City If he can get David Johnson to play like he did a couple years ago and then get Le'Veon Bell back, then his team will be solidified. He does have Cam. He does have Gronk. But there is such a gap between his number one wide receiver and number two wide receiver. He probably needs to invest in a trade of some sort. I just gonna be honest, Bull City, the Le'Veon Bell thing backfired. We could probably work out a trade. I'm willing to take back Le'Veon Bell. This is putting it out there. You just toss me some trades that you think might be adequate for Bell, given your current circumstances. I'm giving this one to Dim Jack Boys. That new guy goes 3-0. Next, we've got I'm Feeling Like Thanos versus Give Me Money. Now, these guys are practically brothers as far as it goes on the PlayStation Network circuit, but they never ever shy away from competition from one another. Matter of fact, I'm kind of shocked that throughout this entire week, they haven't been chirpity chirp 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 with thumbs. I've heard a little bit of smack talk, a little bit, but they got the kid gloves on too. Nobody wants to be, I guess, barking too loud and then turn out to lose by 30. Next thing you know, you got to hear it for the rest of the week, if not the rest of the year. So maybe they're being a little conservative. I got to give this one to my boy. Give me money. I'm gonna go ahead and say Saquon goes off. I think Alex Smith has a good day against Green Bay. I think it's going to be shocking that Todd Gurley doesn't get over 20 points this week. I think the Chargers are gonna hold him in check. I think they have the defense to keep him within one score and less than 100 yards. I believe that. So I'm going to give this one to Give Me Money. And I think that's it, fellas. We got the predictions for week 3. We've got the analysis of week 2. Good on you to the man that won most improved, which was Flawless Victory. And then we got the guy that won Fantasy Stud, Flawless Victory. I'm impressed. I'm impressed that you've come this far. Shout outs to Honorable Mention. As far as it goes to Post Mahomes squad, getting that over 200. Every time you get over 200, you should win, and you should win some money, hopefully. And then Fantasy Dud, Bull City, just floundering like he did. But he didn't even flounder this much when David Johnson had broken that bone in his arm. So it's kind of sad to see him 2 years in a row suffer these fantasy woes. But, que sera. Whatever will be, will be. Now, I've taken up too much of your time. We're almost at the 20-minute mark. Good luck to everybody, except that nigga Chicago Chalupas. You can eat a bag of dicks. So, with that being said, let football begin!